Beloved soul, welcome to this divine message. If you're hearing these words right now, know that it's not by chance. The universe has guided you here in this exact moment because there's something important you need to hear. Angels are always communicating with us, sending signs and synchronicities to guide our paths, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Today, I bring you a message of profound significance, one that could forever change the course of your love story. The angels have whispered that a divine encounter awaits you, a meeting with someone whose soul recognizes yours from lifetimes before. Type "ready" in the comments if you're prepared to receive this angelic guidance about your soulmate connection. The angels want you to know that love has been preparing itself for you while you've been healing, while you've been growing, while you've been becoming. All those nights you spent wondering when your person would arrive, they weren't wasted. They were necessary. Every tear, every disappointment, every lesson was shaping you for this divine appointment that approaches. The universe doesn't make mistakes, and your journey to this point has been perfectly orchestrated. Sunday carries special energy. It's the day of new beginnings, of spiritual awakening, of divine timing. The angels have marked this day in your journey for a reason. They see what you cannot yet see. Before I reveal what the angels have shown me about this Sunday encounter, I want you to understand something fundamental about soulmate connections. These aren't simply romantic partnerships. They are spiritual contracts made before you came into this earthly existence. Your soul and theirs made an agreement to find each other, to help each other grow, to remind each other of your divine nature. That's why when you meet them, there will be a sense of familiarity, a feeling of coming home after a long journey. Type "I believe" in the comments if you're ready to honor this soul contract that's waiting to manifest in your life. The angels want you to know that they've been working diligently behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, removing obstacles, and preparing both you and your soulmate for this divine appointment. Nothing about this meeting will be coincidental, from the timing to the location to the words first exchanged. Pay attention to the smallest details when Sunday arrives. Notice how certain elements feel synchronized, as if choreographed by an unseen hand. That's angelic guidance making itself known in your physical reality. The veil between worlds thins. When soulmates are about to connect, you might experience heightened intuition, vivid dreams, or synchronistic numbers in the days leading up to Sunday. Now, about the location. The angels aren't giving an exact street address. That's not how divine guidance typically works. Instead, they're revealing energetic signatures and symbolic meanings. Your soulmate encounter is most likely to occur in a place associated with one of 4 elements: water, earth, air, or fire. For many of you, this means near flowing water, a river, a beach, a fountain in a park. Water represents emotion, intuition, and the flow of life force. Others will experience this meeting in places of earth energy, gardens, forests, mountains, or even a simple coffee shop with plants and wooden elements. Earth symbolizes stability, growth, and nourishment. Type "I understand" if you're beginning to see how these elemental energies might manifest in your life. For those whose souls resonate with air energy, expect your divine encounter in places of movement, communication, and intellect, perhaps a library, a bookstore, a concert, or even while traveling. And for the fire souls among you, look to places of transformation, passion, and creativity, art galleries, festivals, spiritual gatherings, or anywhere that ignites your authentic self-expression. The angels emphasize that the exact location matters less than your energetic state when you're there. You must be present, open-hearted, and authentically yourself. No masks, no pretenses. Your soulmate will recognize your true essence, not the person you think you should be. The angels are showing me that for many of you, this soulmate connection has been delayed. Not because the universe is cruel or indifferent to your longing, but because certain alignments needed to occur first. Perhaps you needed to release old wounds, or they needed to complete important life lessons. Divine timing is perfect timing, even when our human perspective finds it frustratingly slow. What matters is that the waiting period is drawing to a close. The stars have aligned, the energetic pathways have cleared, and two souls that have been searching for each other across time and space are about to reconnect. Type "at last" in the comments if you feel a resonance with this message of divine timing finally manifesting in your life. The angels want you to understand something crucial about this Sunday encounter. It may not immediately announce itself as a soulmate meeting. In fact, it might seem ordinary at first glance. A casual conversation, a brief exchange of smiles, perhaps even a slight disagreement or misunderstanding. Don't expect thunderbolts and dramatic music. The most profound connections often begin subtly, with a quiet recognition that only later reveals its true significance. Pay attention to unexpected warmth in your chest, a sense of déjà vu, or finding yourself unusually comfortable with someone you've just met. These are the true signs of soul recognition, far more reliable than superficial attraction or dramatic circumstances. As Sunday approaches, the angels ask you to prepare yourself not through external actions, but through internal alignment. Begin each morning with gratitude. Appreciation opens the heart chakra and makes you more receptive to divine love. Spend time in meditation, clearing your energy field of doubts, fears, and attachments to specific outcomes. Remember that your soulmate may not arrive in the package you've imagined. They might differ from your usual type or preferred aesthetic. The soul connection transcends these physical preferences, speaking to something much deeper within you. The angels are gently warning against closed-mindedness that might cause you to miss what's right in front of you. Type "open heart" if you commit to approaching this encounter with genuine openness to however love chooses to find you. The angelic realm wants you to know that this soulmate connection isn't arriving to complete you or solve your problems. If you're seeking someone to fill an emptiness within, you're not yet ready for the depth of this soul contract. This divine appointment comes not to rescue you, but to reflect your own light back to you, to witness your journey, to grow alongside you. In the days before Sunday, focus on feeling whole and complete within yourself. Cultivate self-love and inner peace. This creates the optimal energetic state for recognizing your divine counterpart when they appear. Remember, we attract connections that match our own frequency. Be the love you wish to receive. Now, the angels are revealing something important about the nature of this encounter. For some of you, this Sunday meeting won't be with a stranger, but with someone already in your orbit. Perhaps someone you've met briefly before, or someone connected to your existing social circles. Don't dismiss familiar faces. Sometimes the most profound connections have been near us all along, waiting for the right moment of recognition. For others, this will indeed be a first meeting with someone completely new entering your life path. In either case, there will be a distinct feeling of timing, as if all the pieces of a cosmic puzzle are finally falling into place. Type divine timing if you're ready to surrender to the perfect unfolding of your love story. The angels are showing me that many of you have been carrying wounds from past relationships, betrayals, abandonments, disappointments that have caused you to build walls around your heart. These protective barriers were necessary for a time, but now they're obstacles to the very connection your soul is seeking. Before Sunday arrives, set the intention to lower these defenses, even if it feels vulnerable to do so. You cannot recognize your soulmate through walls of fear and distrust. This doesn't mean becoming naive or ignoring red flags. Divine guidance enhances discernment rather than diminishing it. But it does mean approaching new connections with hope rather than suspicion, with openness rather than predetermined judgments. For those wondering about the physical appearance of this soulmate, the angels are intentionally not providing specific descriptions. Physical characteristics are the least important aspect of soul recognition. However, they are showing me that many of you will notice something distinctive about their eyes, a depth, a familiarity, a quality of seeing beyond surface appearances. Others will recognize their soulmate through their voice. Something in their tone or manner of speaking will resonate at a soul level, and for some, it will be their energy field that you recognize first, a sense of peace, alignment, or belonging in their presence. Trust these subtle recognitions over external markers of compatibility. Type "I trust" in the comments if you're willing to rely on your soul's wisdom rather than superficial checklist. The angelic realm wants you to understand that this Sunday encounter is part of a larger divine plan for your spiritual growth and awakening. Soulmate connections aren't merely about romantic fulfillment. They're catalysts for evolution, mirrors that reflect both our highest potential and the areas where healing is still needed. This connection will challenge you as much as it comforts you. It will call you to greater authenticity, deeper courage, and more expansive love. Be prepared not just for romance, but for transformation. The angels see this relationship as a sacred vessel for mutual growth, a container where two souls can help each other fulfill their highest purpose in this lifetime. As we continue exploring this divine message about your Sunday encounter, the angels want to address those of you who have been praying specifically for a life partner. Your prayers have been heard, your tears have been collected, your longing has been witnessed. But the angels want you to understand something crucial about manifestation. Sometimes our human specifications limit the magnificent plan the universe has for us. You may have been visualizing a partner with certain qualities, backgrounds, or circumstances, not realizing that your soul has already made agreements with someone who might differ from these conscious preferences, but who carries exactly the energetic match your spirit needs for evolution. Type "surrender" if you're willing to release your limited human vision in favor of divine wisdom. The angels are showing me that for many of you, there have been previous near misses with this soulmate connection. Perhaps you crossed paths before, but the timing wasn't aligned. One or both of you may not have been ready for the depth this connection requires. Some of you might even have brief memories of these almost meetings. A glimpse across a crowded room, a conversation that felt significant but didn't continue, a person you thought about contacting but didn't. These weren't failures but necessary pauses in a divine timeline. Everything unfolds according to sacred timing, and previous delays were protective, not punitive. Now the energetic conditions have ripened, allowing for the full blossoming of this soul contract. For those who are currently in relationships, the angels offer an important clarification. This message about a Sunday encounter doesn't necessarily mean meeting a new romantic partner if you're already committed. Soulmate connections take many forms. They can be profound friendships, mentorships, or spiritual companions who help us on our path. If you're in a healthy, loving relationship, this Sunday message might be about meeting someone who plays a different but equally significant role in your soul journey. However, if you're in a relationship characterized by chronic unhappiness, disrespect, or misalignment, the angels are gently suggesting that divine love is still available to you in forms that honor your highest good. Type clarity if you're seeking truth above comfort in understanding this message. The location of your Sunday encounter carries symbolic significance beyond the physical place itself. The angels are showing me that many of you will meet your soulmate in a setting that reflects something meaningful about your shared purpose or values. For creative souls, this might be an art gallery, concert venue, or creative workshop. For those with spiritual missions, perhaps a church, meditation center, or wellness event. For intellectually aligned souls, maybe a bookstore, lecture, or educational setting. And for those whose connection is rooted in service to others, possibly a volunteer opportunity, community event, or caregiving environment. Pay attention to why you feel drawn to certain places this Sunday. Your intuition is being divinely guided toward this encounter. Now the angels want to address a question many of you have been asking. How will I know for certain this is my soulmate when I meet them? While Hollywood has conditioned us to expect dramatic music and slow-motion moments, authentic soul recognition is often more subtle and profound. You'll likely experience a sense of calm certainty, as if a question you've been carrying has suddenly been answered. Physical symptoms might include warmth in your chest, tingling along your spine, or a pleasant lightheadedness. Emotionally, you may feel unusually comfortable, as if you can be completely yourself without effort or pretense. Mentally, conversation will flow easily, often with a sense that you're picking up threads of dialogue from long ago. Type recognition if you're ready to trust these soul-level signals when they appear. The angels are emphasizing that this Sunday encounter requires your active participation. Divine orchestration creates the opportunity, but your choices determine what unfolds from that initial meeting. You must be willing to engage, to show up authentically, to follow intuitive nudges even when they don't make logical sense. Some of you will feel prompted to visit places you wouldn't normally go, to start conversations with people you might typically pass by, to linger somewhere longer than planned. These intuitive prompts are angelic guidance, subtle breadcrumbs leading you toward this divine appointment. Ignoring them because they seem illogical or outside your comfort zone might mean missing the very connection your soul has been seeking. For those who have experienced significant heartbreak or betrayal in the past, the angels offer special guidance. Your wounds have not disqualified you from divine love. Quite the opposite. Your heart has been broken open, creating more space for authentic connection once healing has occurred. However, unhealed trauma can cause us to misidentify soulmates, either by seeing divine connection where it doesn't exist, usually with people who replicate familiar patterns, or by failing to recognize genuine soul connections due to fear and distrust. In these final days before Sunday, set the intention to perceive clearly without the distortion of past hurts. Ask the angels to help you distinguish between fear-based attraction and genuine soul recognition. Type healed vision if you're committed to seeing with clarity rather than through the lens of past wounds. The angels want you to know that this soulmate connection exists beyond physical attraction, though there will likely be a natural draw toward this person. True soul connections resonate at multiple levels: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. You'll find yourself engaged not just by their appearance, but by their mind, their heart, their essence. Conversations will feel expansive yet grounded, often touching on topics that matter deeply to you. There may be an unusual synchronicity in your life experiences, values, or spiritual understandings, even if your backgrounds differ significantly. Pay attention to these multidimensional resonances rather than focusing solely on chemistry or initial attraction. As Sunday approaches, the angels encourage you to release expectation while maintaining intention. A delicate but important balance. Expectation is rigid, creating specific scenarios that reality must match to satisfy us. Intention is open and flexible, focusing on the essence of what we desire, while allowing for infinite possibilities in how it manifests. Set the intention to be fully present, open-hearted, and receptive to divine connection, without attached expectations about exactly how, where, or with whom this will occur. This state of relaxed awareness creates the optimal conditions for recognizing soul connections when they appear. Type without expectation. If you commit to this approach of open-hearted presence without rigid demands on how your blessing must arrive, the angels are revealing that for many of you, there will be a moment of choice in this Sunday encounter, a crossroads where you must decide whether to pursue this connection further or let it pass by. This might come as an invitation, a request for contact information, or simply an intuitive knowing that you should extend the interaction rather than concluding it. When this moment arrives, the angels urge courage over caution. So many divine connections never fully manifest because initial fear overrides soul recognition. This doesn't mean abandoning discernment or boundaries. Those remain sacred protections. But it does mean being willing to step toward connection rather than reflexively stepping back from it. Your soul has waited lifetimes for this reunion. Don't let momentary human fear prevent what the eternal self has longed for. For those wondering about the timing of this connection beyond the initial Sunday meeting, the angels show that each soul partnership unfolds according to its unique divine blueprint. Some of these connections will develop quickly, with both souls immediately recognizing the significance of their meeting. Others will evolve more gradually, perhaps beginning as friendship before deepening into romantic partnership. Still others might experience an intense initial connection followed by a period of separation before eventually reuniting in more permanent union. Trust the natural rhythm of your specific soul contract rather than forcing it to match external timelines or social expectations. Divine timing is rarely linear in the way human planning tends to be. Type perfect timing if you trust the unique unfolding of your soul connection. The angels are showing me that this soulmate connection will likely arrive during a phase of life when you've stopped desperately searching and started peacefully becoming. Many of you have been through periods of intense longing for partnership, perhaps even making finding love your primary focus. But this connection arrives not when you're seeking outside yourself, but when you're centered within yourself. This doesn't mean you must be perfectly healed or completely content with solitude, but it does suggest that this Sunday encounter comes during a period when you've found some measure of peace with your journey, when you're engaged with your own life purpose rather than waiting for someone else to give your life meaning. This internal alignment creates the harmonic resonance that attracts your divine counterpart. Now, the angels want to address something important about the nature of this soulmate connection. While many assume soulmates create only ease and harmony, the truth is more complex. Yes, there will be profound understanding and natural affinity between you, but this connection will also challenge you, triggering growth edges and illuminating areas where healing is still needed. This is by divine design. Your souls chose each other precisely because you hold keys to each other's evolution. When difficulties arise, as they inevitably will, remember they're not signs the connection is false, but evidence of its profound purpose. Soul connections aren't meant to merely comfort us, but to transform us. Type growth through love if you're prepared for both the joy and the challenges this divine partnership will bring. The angels are emphasizing that while this Sunday encounter initiates an important soul connection, it represents a beginning, rather than an end point. So many seekers focus exclusively on finding their person, not realizing that meeting them is just the first step in a sacred journey of mutual growth and purpose. This connection isn't the finale of your story, but rather the opening of a new chapter, one where two souls who have chosen each other across lifetimes begin their shared work in this earthly dimension. Approach this meeting not as the culmination of your seeking, but as the commencement of your co-creation. There is much for you to build together, much for you to heal together, much for you to discover together. For those who have been experiencing unusual dreams, visitations, or energetic shifts in recent days, the angels confirm these are often preparatory experiences before significant soul reunions. Your energy fields are already beginning to recognize and attune to each other even before physical meeting occurs. Some of you may have dreamed of a person whose face you couldn't quite see clearly, but whose presence felt deeply familiar. Others might have experienced sudden memories from what seemed like other lifetimes. Still others might notice heightened synchronicities, repeated numbers, songs, or symbols appearing in your awareness. These are all signs of imminent soul recognition. Type already connecting if you've been experiencing these subtle preparatory phenomena. The angels want you to understand something crucial about divine appointments. They require your willing participation, but not your anxious orchestration. You don't need to manipulate circumstances, force conversations, or strategically position yourself for this meeting to occur. In fact, such calculated approaches often interfere with natural soul recognition. Instead, follow joy, peace, and authentic interest on Sunday. Go where you feel genuinely drawn. Engage in activities that resonate with your true self. Interact with others from a place of presence rather than agenda. Divine orchestration works through authentic movement, not strategic positioning. Trust that if you follow your genuine inclinations rather than contrived plans, you will naturally arrive where your soul connection awaits. As we move deeper into this angelic message, there's guidance for those who feel they've been waiting an exceptionally long time for this divine partnership. The angels want you to know that the depth and significance of a soul connection often correlates with the preparation period required. The most profound relationships frequently require the most extensive preparation. This isn't punishment, but protection, ensuring both souls have developed the capacity for the intensity and purpose of their union. If your waiting has been long, it likely speaks to the significance of the connection approaching, not to any deficiency or oversight in your journey. Souls who have profound work to do together often require profound individual development first. Type worth the wait. If you can sense the wisdom in your preparation period, however lengthy it may have felt. The angels are showing me that for many of you, this Sunday encounter will involve a moment of choice between familiar patterns and new possibilities. You might feel the pull of old habits, perhaps reaching for someone who resembles previous partners, or protecting yourself in ways that once felt necessary, but now limit connection. The divine invitation is to choose differently this time, to recognize when you're at a familiar crossroads and consciously select a new path. This doesn't mean ignoring genuine warning signs or boundaries. Rather, it means distinguishing between authentic discernment and habitual fear, between necessary protection and unnecessary limitation. Your soulmate often arrives precisely when you're ready to make new choices rather than repeating old patterns. For those concerned about recognizing this divine connection amidst the ordinary activities of a Sunday, the angels offer reassurance. You don't need special psychic abilities or spiritual attunement to recognize your soulmate. The recognition occurs at levels far deeper than conscious thought. Your soul knows its counterpart automatically, the way your lungs know how to breathe. Trust the natural wisdom of your being. While your mind might question or second-guess, your essential self recognizes its divine complement without effort or analysis. Pay attention to sensations in your body, to inexplicable knowing, to the feeling of ease that arrives without explanation. These soul-level recognitions bypass the thinking mind entirely. Type soul knowing. If you trust your deeper wisdom to recognize what your mind might not immediately comprehend. The angels are revealing that for many of you, this soulmate connection will serve as a catalyst for your spiritual awakening or the next level of your spiritual journey. While human focus often centers on romantic fulfillment, the angels see these divine partnerships primarily as vehicles for spiritual evolution. Your souls have chosen each other as companions and catalysts for your highest development in this lifetime. This doesn't diminish the love or joy you'll experience together, quite the opposite. It means your connection serves purposes far greater than momentary happiness or security. It becomes a sacred container for transformation, a relationship that continuously invites both partners into greater authenticity, service, and awakening. This spiritual dimension gives the relationship a depth and resilience that purely romantic connections often lack. Now, the angels address something important about the state of readiness for this divine appointment. Many believe they must achieve perfect healing, complete self-love, or total life balance before their soulmate can arrive. The angels want you to know this isn't true. We don't meet our divine counterparts when we're perfect. We meet them when we're ready. Readiness isn't perfection, but willingness. Willingness to be seen in both your light and shadow, willingness to grow beyond comfortable limitations, willingness to love from your wounds rather than despite them. If you've been doing your inner work with sincere commitment, you're likely more ready than you realize. Type I am ready if you can acknowledge your preparation while releasing the myth of required perfection. The angels want to speak directly to those who've previously believed they encountered their soulmate, only to experience disappointment or heartbreak. These past connections weren't mistakes or cruel cosmic jokes. They were necessary teachers preparing you for authentic soul recognition. Each significant relationship develops your capacity to recognize, receive, and sustain true divine partnership. Without these preparatory connections, you might not have developed the discernment needed to recognize your genuine soul counterpart when they arrive. Rather than viewing past relationships as failures, see them as essential education in the language of love. They've taught you what resonance feels like, what misalignment looks like, what your non-negotiable needs truly are. This Sunday encounter builds upon all you've learned. For those wondering about age, background, or other external factors regarding this soulmate connection, the angels offer gentle redirection. Soul connections transcend many of the categories and preferences that seem important from human perspective. Age differences within appropriate adult boundaries, cultural backgrounds, even personality types that might seem incompatible on paper often become irrelevant in the presence of genuine soul recognition. What matters is the energetic resonance between you, the sense of soul familiarity that defies logical explanation, the inexplicable knowing that this connection carries spiritual significance beyond ordinary meeting. The angels encourage you to release preconceived notions about what your divine counterpart should look like, sound like, or come from. Type beyond categories. If you're willing to recognize your soulmate through soul perception rather than mental checklists. As Sunday approaches, the angels recommend specific preparations to optimize your energetic receptivity. Spend time in nature if possible, as natural environments help clear artificial energies that can cloud intuition. Engage in activities that bring you genuine joy, as joy raises your vibrational frequency to levels where divine recognition occurs more easily. Practice forgiveness of others who've hurt you, of circumstances that disappointed you, and especially of yourself for perceived failures or mistakes. Unforgiveness creates energetic static that interferes with clear soul recognition. Finally, set conscious intention each morning to be open to divine guidance and synchronicity throughout your day. These simple practices create the optimal conditions for recognizing the divine appointment when it arrives. The angels are showing me that many of you have been receiving increased signs and synchronicities in recent weeks, repeated number sequences, meaningful songs playing at significant moments, dreams with symbolic guidance, even direct messages that seem to speak to your longing for partnership. These aren't coincidences but confirmations, evidence of the divine orchestration actively preparing your path toward this soul reunion. Start keeping a synchronicity journal if you haven't already, noting patterns and messages that seem meaningful, even if their significance isn't immediately clear. These breadcrumbs of divine guidance are creating a map that leads to Sunday's encounter. Type following signs. If you've been noticing this increased synchronicity in your life recently, for those feeling skeptical about this message, perhaps you've heard similar promises before or waited through many Sundays without meaningful connection. The angels offer understanding rather than judgment. Skepticism itself isn't an obstacle to divine connection. Often it's a necessary protection against false hope or spiritual bypassing. The angels don't ask for blind faith, but for open possibility, a willingness to remain receptive despite past disappointments. You can hold both prudent discernment and open-hearted receptivity simultaneously. This balanced approach actually creates optimal conditions for genuine soul recognition, allowing you to distinguish authentic divine connection from wishful thinking or projection. Your critical thinking doesn't offend the angels. It's part of the wisdom that will help you recognize truth when it stands before you. The angels want you to understand that this soulmate connection, while divinely orchestrated, still operates within free will. Both you and this divine counterpart have the autonomy to recognize, pursue, or step back from the connection. This is by sacred design. Love must always be freely chosen to fulfill its highest purpose. While the opportunity for connection is guaranteed by divine arrangement, how that opportunity unfolds depends on choices made by both souls. This isn't meant to create anxiety, but to honor the sovereign nature of all beings. Divine love coordinates the meeting, but never forces the outcome. Trust that if this truly is your soul counterpart, the recognition will be mutual, even if it unfolds according to unique timing for each of you. Type free will if you honor this sacred principle within divine orchestration. The angels are revealing an important truth about the nature of this Sunday encounter. It arrives not when you've eliminated all fears, but when you've developed the courage to connect despite them. Many spiritual seekers believe they must overcome all relationship anxiety, trust issues, or abandonment wounds before divine partnership can manifest. The angels want you to know this isn't accurate. Healing is an ongoing journey, not a destination that precedes love's arrival. What matters is developing the capacity to choose connection even when fear arises, to move toward love even when past wounds whisper warnings. Your soulmate doesn't arrive when you're fearless, but when you've learned to walk with fear without being controlled by it. This Sunday encounter is evidence not of completed healing, but of sufficient courage. For those concerned about missing this divine appointment due to other commitments or Sunday plans, the angels offer reassurance. Divine orchestration works within the fabric of your actual life, not some parallel ideal circumstance. If you have family obligations, work responsibilities, or other commitments this Sunday, don't worry that you're somehow sabotaging cosmic plans. The divine appointment will align with where you authentically need to be. In fact, many soul reunions occur precisely within ordinary responsibilities rather than magical separate circumstances. Trust that if you're following your truth, honoring commitments, responding to genuine guidance, attending to necessary matters, you are exactly where divine orchestration can find you. Type divine alignment. If you trust that authentic living creates the perfect conditions for soul recognition, the angels want to address those who may be experiencing unusual physical symptoms or energy shifts as this divine appointment approaches. Many of you report sudden fatigue or bursts of energy, disrupted sleep patterns, heightened sensory awareness, or unexplained emotional waves. These are often signs of energetic preparation as your field adjusts to hold the frequency of this significant soul reunion. Rather than pathologizing these experiences or seeking only medical explanations, though always consult healthcare providers for persistent symptoms, recognize the spiritual dimension of these changes. Your energy body is quite literally recalibrating to support the resonance of divine partnership. Simple practices like grounding meditation, salt baths, time in nature, and adequate rest can help integrate these energetic adjustments more comfortably. As we continue exploring this angelic message about Sunday's divine appointment, there's guidance for those who have previously encountered false soulmates or connections that carried intense spiritual significance, but ultimately proved unhealthy. The angels want you to know that this experience has developed your discernment in crucial ways. You now understand that spiritual intensity doesn't automatically equal spiritual health, that divine connection requires both transcendent recognition and grounded integrity. This Sunday encounter differs from past disappointments precisely because you've developed the wisdom to distinguish authentic soul resonance from projection, fantasy, or energetic manipulation. Trust that your hard-won discernment is an essential protection, not an obstacle to recognition. Type Wise discernment, if you value the clarity that has emerged from previous challenging connections. The angels are showing me that many of you will experience a moment of profound recognition during this Sunday encounter, a split second, where time seems to pause, where the external world fades slightly, where something ancient and knowing passes between you and this person. This moment might be so subtle that your conscious mind barely registers it, or so powerful that you feel momentarily disoriented. Either way, trust this recognition. It comes from the deepest part of your being, the soul level that recognizes its counterpart beyond all rational explanation. This doesn't mean immediately declaring undying love or making grand pronouncements. Soul recognition can be honored quietly, held with sacred patience as the human relationship develops at its own appropriate pace. What matters is acknowledging the depth beneath the ordinary meeting. For those wondering how this divine connection relates to your life purpose or soul mission, the angels offer beautiful clarity. This soulmate relationship isn't separate from your purpose, but intricately connected to it. In many cases, divine partnerships arrive precisely when both souls are ready to elevate their individual missions through collaboration, support, and shared vision. This doesn't mean you'll necessarily work in the same field or express identical gifts. Often soul partnerships bring complementary strengths, creating balance and wholeness neither could achieve alone. Pay attention to how this person's presence illuminates aspects of your purpose you couldn't fully see or express on your own. Type purposeful union if you're open to discovering how this connection might catalyze your deeper calling in unexpected ways. The angels want to address those who worry they won't be physically attracted to their soulmate or that the connection will lack passion. While Hollywood often portrays soulmate connections as either entirely spiritual, lacking physical chemistry, or overwhelmingly physical, based primarily on attraction, authentic divine partnerships typically integrate both dimensions harmoniously. Physical attraction in soul connections often differs from conventional attraction patterns, however. Rather than being based primarily on cultural standards or familiar types, it emerges from energetic resonance, a recognition that occurs at cellular rather than merely visual levels. This creates a sustainable attraction that often deepens rather than diminishes with time, as it's rooted in essential recognition rather than superficial assessment. As Sunday's divine appointment approaches, the angels encourage you to release attachment to specific outcomes while remaining fully present to the experience itself. Human tendency often projects far into the future upon meeting someone significant, imagining relationship trajectories, shared homes, even children or growing old together. While natural, this future-focused thinking can actually interfere with the profound present-moment recognition that soul connections require. Practice bringing yourself fully into each moment this Sunday, engaging completely with whoever stands before you rather than with the relationship you imagine might develop. This present moment awareness creates the clear seeing necessary for authentic soul recognition. Type present awareness if you commit to this practice of engaged presence without attachment to future outcomes. The angels are revealing something important about the conversations that will unfold during this Sunday encounter. While ordinary, initial meetings often involve surface exchanges and careful self-presentation, soul connections typically bypass these conventional layers surprisingly quickly. You may find yourself discussing meaningful topics, sharing authentic vulnerabilities, or exploring philosophical questions that wouldn't normally arise with new acquaintances. This isn't forced or contrived, but flows naturally from the soul recognition operating beneath conscious awareness. If you find yourself in unexpectedly deep conversation with someone this Sunday, recognize this as a potential sign of soul resonance rather than mere coincidence or oversharing. Divine connections often create safe containers for authentic expression from the very beginning. For those concerned about timing in the development of this connection, the angels offer perspective that transcends conventional relationship timelines. Soul connections often don't follow the standard progression of dating, exclusivity, commitment, and so forth. Some develop with unusual speed, the soul recognition so clear that both people know almost immediately they've encountered someone of profound significance. Others unfold more gradually, perhaps beginning as friendship before deepening into romantic partnership over time. Still others might experience immediate recognition, followed by necessary separation before eventual reunion. Trust the unique rhythm of your specific soul contract rather than imposing external expectations about how quickly relationships should develop. Type divine rhythm if you're willing to honor the natural unfolding of this connection without forcing it into conventional timelines. The angels want to address something many spiritual seekers misunderstand about soulmate connections: the unidentified role of challenge and growth. Many expect divine partnerships to eliminate struggle or provide perfect understanding at all times. The angels want you to know that while soul connections do create a foundation of deep recognition and resonance, they don't exempt us from the necessary friction that creates spiritual growth. In fact, true soulmates often trigger our deepest wounds precisely because the connection is safe enough to bring these shadows into light for healing. When difficulties arise in this connection, as they inevitably will, remember they're not evidence you've mistaken the connection, but confirmation of its transformative purpose. Divine love illuminates what needs healing. It doesn't bypass this essential process. As Sunday approaches, the angels suggest a simple but powerful practice to prepare your energetic field for divine recognition. Each morning and evening, place your hand over your heart center and speak this intention. I open myself to divine recognition beyond my mind's understanding. I trust my soul to know its counterpart. I release all barriers to receiving the love that seeks me now. This declaration bypasses the analytical mind that often creates obstacles to soul recognition and speaks directly to the wisdom of your heart, the center that recognizes divine connection without needing logical explanation. This practice creates an energetic doorway through which authentic soul recognition can occur more easily. Type heart recognition if you commit to this simple but profound preparation. The angels are showing me that for many of you, this Sunday, encounter will have an element of divine humor or unexpected circumstances, perhaps meeting in an unusual way during a minor mishap, or in a context that seems far from romantic or spiritual on the surface. This element of surprise serves an important purpose, bypassing your habitual expectations and creating an opening for genuine recognition beyond preconceived notions. While human imagination often creates elaborate scenarios for significant meetings, divine orchestration frequently works through ordinary moments transformed by extraordinary recognition. The seemingly random nature of your meeting may actually be precisely what allows you to perceive beyond your usual filters and projections. For those who have spent significant time working on self-love and inner healing, the angels offer beautiful confirmation that this inner work creates the necessary foundation for divine partnership. Unlike connections formed from woundedness or lack, Soul partnerships thrive when both individuals have developed genuine self-worth and emotional sovereignty. This doesn't mean perfect healing. That's a lifelong journey for all humans, but sufficient self-connection to engage from wholeness rather than desperate need. Your commitment to inner work hasn't delayed your divine appointment, but has prepared you to recognize and receive it at a far deeper level than would have been possible without this foundation. Type worthy now if you acknowledge the value of the inner work you've done in preparing for this divine connection. The angels want to address those who worry their past mistakes, relationship patterns, or extended periods of being single somehow. Disqualify them from divine partnership. Nothing could be further from truth. Your journey, with all its detours, lessons, and seeming failures, has been the perfect preparation for the connection that now approaches. Those who have experienced the greatest relationship challenges often develop the deepest appreciation for authentic connection when it arrives. Those who have spent extended time in solitude often develop self-knowledge and spiritual depth that creates profound foundation for partnership. Your path hasn't been a mistake. It's been precisely the journey your soul needed to prepare for this divine appointment. Trust that everything has unfolded in perfect sequence for your highest good. As our exploration of this angelic message continues, there's guidance about maintaining energetic clarity in the days leading to Sunday. The angels recommend limiting exposure to environments, substances, or interactions that cloud your energy field or lower your vibrational frequency. This might mean reducing time on social media, decreasing consumption of news that triggers fear or anxiety, minimizing alcohol or other substances that dull perception, and creating healthy boundaries with people who drain your energy. These aren't permanent life changes, but temporary measures to ensure your energetic field is as clear as possible for divine recognition when it occurs. Type clear channel if you commit to this practice of energetic preparation in the days before Sunday's divine appointment. Thank you for watching.